When I moved to this house, I'd say one of the biggest challenges I faced in this garage was figuring out the floor plan of my shop, the layout. I wanted something efficient, wanted everything to kind of be within a hand's reach of the central piece of this shop, which is this welding table I picked up from Philly about 7 or 8 years ago now. Love this welding table. But anyway, the topic of today's video, I figure take the camera around the shop a little bit. I'll just give you a quick little dirty shop tour here. Alright, so as I walk into the shop here, to the right of me I have my main toolbox. I like to do a toolbox tour about once a year, so probably in the start of 2024 here, I'll do a nice thorough toolbox tour of this box, small box over there, another small box over there. Something that I use quite often that I keep on top of the toolbox is a respirator, so when the air quality gets less than ideal, I have a respirator I can easily don and doff right there. Also keep a flashlight up here. Here we have the main focal point of the shop, the operating table, the welding table. I like to watch Adam Savage. He has a YouTube channel. He's one of the stars of Mythbusters, and when I was watching his video on shop setup, something that always stuck in the back of my mind, he said, your main workbench, it's a good idea to try and have that within an arm's reach of a toolbox or something that you can grab tools out of. And I've kind of used that design feature in my own shop here, so if I'm working something on the operating table here, could open a drawer here, grab a pair of snips. That's pretty good. I didn't even look. Let's see, I want to grab a screwdriver. I think flatheads are on the right. Phillips heads are on the right. But you get the idea. Everything's kind of within an arm's reach. Got a little tongue tie there. Probably have about 3 feet of space in between the toolbox and the welding table, and that is also true along the other axis of the welding table. Let me show you this corner over here. Also just have some safety equipment right here, easy to access. Little face shield, especially when I'm using angle grinders. Hearing protection, hard hat, pink hard hat. Also have the grinder station over here, a couple 4.5-inch angle grinders, one with flap discs, one with a cutting disc. Those are the two most commonly used discs in my arsenal. And then of course we also have the chainsaw storage over here, also have fuel storage over here. I keep the fuel underneath this corner of the welding table because I do all of the welding basically on the opposite side of the welding table, because obviously you don't want hot sparks and slag anywhere near your fuel canisters. As I walk around the corner from my main toolbox here, easy, we come into this little alcove of the shop right here, and I think I've set this up very well. To start, we have this bolt organization bin. I picked this up from Long Island, about $200 for this, and this has just been a fantastic investment. Have a bunch of different bolts, fasteners, hardware, you name it. If I don't have it, I can get by with what I have here. Back in the corner here, we have the air compressor. If you have an air compressor, permanent air compressor in your shop, I highly recommend you install a ball valve as close to the outlet port on your air compressor as possible. It's going to be near impossible to work all those air leaks out of the system, so I have a shut-off valve right here. Now up on this shelf, new motor oil, especially for the truck, and new oil filters as well. I like to stay one oil change ahead. I always like to be well equipped, and I didn't always used to be like that. What kind of changed for me was COVID. I remember during COVID, it was very hard to come by diesel motor oil, and when you could find it, it was very expensive. So now I just like to stay an oil change ahead. Also have a new set of fuel filters for the truck, a new belt for the lawnmower, woodworking, power tools up here, brad nailer, router, Dremel, skill saw, jigsaw. Also have some chemicals, diesel treatment chemical, washer fluid, a little bit of fire hose, boot and leather care equipment here. And then mostly automotive repair tools down here, slide hammer, power probe, one of my favorite tools, ball joint tool. And then also down below, we also have the stick welder, which to be honest, I haven't used in a few years now. So when I was first building my shop about 10 years ago, I really didn't have a lot of money, and I couldn't afford these nice black bins that I organize a lot of equipment in now. So what I started off with were milk crates, because you could always find these on the side of the road, and I still utilize these milk crates today. So going down along the line here, I saved these old coffee containers and nut containers in case I'm doing a project and I need to take some hardware out of one of my bins and don't want to take the whole bin. These are great to have around for whatever you need. I actually keep one of these in the logging jib crane trailer now, and whenever I see a piece of glass or garbage on the ground, I'll just pick that up and throw it in one of those containers and discard it. So those are great for that. Also have a bin of cribbing. This is scrap number 2 copper and brass. Here's my scrap number 1 copper. And to be honest, I don't really plan on scrapping this in. I kind of like to have it just for little repairs and little artsy-fartsy projects. I think you guys can understand that. Bin full of casters. Yes, a winch, fair lead. And then I have 2 bins here, mainly full of chain and discarded scraps of rope. Those come in handy for miscellaneous projects. Then also some extra air hose down here on the last bin. Now if we go up one shelf, this is where I keep my material. I really need to find a new welding supplier, or steel supplier rather. Stuff's kind of hard to come by since I moved. But anyway, just some miscellaneous pieces of iron, flat stock, a couple pieces of aluminum, a little bit of PVC pipe for miscellaneous repairs, clamps, and of course all my chemicals. Going down along my shelf of chemicals, motor oil, ATF fluid, antifreeze, fuel stabilizer, mineral spirits, brake fluid, a variety of different glues, grease. And then we get to these blue bins over here. Let me show you that because I really like this setup. So these blue bins are really great for kind of organizing these aerosol cans and other various chemicals. So this is more like a lubrication tray right here. This is more like carb cleaner, starting fluid. A couple other lubricants as well in here. Battery terminal protector. I use that a lot. What else do we have in here? We have some PVC glue, automotive silicone, anti-seize, wheel bearing lube, and then also aerosol paints. While they're still legal here in the States, we'll see how long they allow these things to last because of climate change. But I do really love these blue bins. They also allow me to slide out a tray if I need. And you can also see that they allow me to extend past the edge of the shelf a little bit, so I get a little bit more storage space there. Then I have kind of like my cleaner work shelf here, so I'll throw the computer up here every now and then, keep the phone up here. Stereo equipment is right above this, but just some more bolt bins. These really aren't labeled or organized. I kind of have an idea of where everything is. I just collect miscellaneous stuff, throw it in the drawers. Like this is all carburetor components, fuel supply lines, fuel filters, spark plugs, different eye bolts. This upper bolt bin is a lot more organized. This is where I keep smaller bolts, especially metric bolts. So we have M4, M5, M6, up to M10, number 6, number 8, number 10, nuts and bolts, O-rings, grease fittings, keyways. So I really like using this small bin for smaller components. It does a great job at organizing those smaller components. Then of course we have all these black and yellow bins. So rock climbing equipment, pole rope, auto detailing, wire loom, woodworking, automotive parts, networking, cables, chainsaw gear. I mean, you kind of get the idea. These bins do a great job at allowing me to neatly organize everything. And with the labeling on there, it makes it really easy to find any components that I need that are housed within those bins. This corner of the shop probably needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but it works for now. Plasma cutter, Hobart 210 MIG welder, oxyacetylene torch, emergency generator for the house. Also, anvil. I got to put this push blower away for the season, but also keep my shop back there. It's not the cleanest, but it works. Then also underneath this side of the welding table, have some stuff under here. So benchtop vise, bench grinder, that thing, 11R vice grips, miscellaneous pieces of stock, hacksaw, then just a bunch of miscellaneous pieces of steel. This is normally what I'll grab from when I need to work on some kind of project, and it's great to have a variety of different size steel dowels and tubing and pipe, because you never know when you're going to need it to fix something. And of course, how could we forget the TV? I recently did a video on installing this mount onto the lolly column. It was a fun little video. But a funny little story, I actually changed out the fuel filters in the Super Duty about a week or two ago. And I actually had to watch my own video because I actually kind of forgot about the proper method of replacing the fuel filter. So I was able to throw my video up on this monitor, swivel it around to the truck, and I was able to successfully complete the job. So if you're not watching football, this is actually a great little tool to have in the shop when you need to look up how to repair something. Then also in the shop right now, we have the Craftsman LT2000 lawnmower and the logging jib crane. When I'm working outside and I get a full load of wood and it's raining outside, sometimes I'll just pull this in the garage. It allows me to charge the battery and allows the wood to get a little drier, I suppose. And also back in between each garage bay, I do have the Delta drill press. I don't use it often, but when I do use it, it's a really great thing to have because it allows you to really square up those holes that you're drilling. And that's going to conclude today's shop tour. Definitely keep an eye out for that toolbox tour video, probably sometime in 2024. Aside from that, if you want any future video suggestion ideas, please drop me a comment in the comment section down below. As always, I will catch you on the next one.